A good morning and a warm welcome to this week's edition of The Dialogue. My name is Prince Apollo. It is time we look at the big events of the week, and the highlights for this week include the first of the four regional parliamentary sittings which convened in the northern district of Gulu, and we'll be looking beyond the sittings but also look at the politics behind these regional sittings. We'll also, in this program, look at the proposal that was mooted by a legislator from Mitiana South, proposing that going forward, the leader of opposition should be elected by the members of opposition, contrary to the current arrangement where he is only designated by the party with majority on the side of the opposition. Once again, it's a pleasure having you on the show this morning. My name is Prince Apollo. I've been joined by the panel, but before I introduce the panel, let's look at this kicker and we kick off the big show.
On Tuesday this week, the first of the parliamentary regional sittings kicked off in Gulu district of northern Uganda, despite criticism from a section of Ugandans that the new initiative was not a priority undertaking and therefore a waste of public resources. In her communication to the House, Speaker Anita Among, who chaired the sittings, emphasized that the decision to hold parliamentary sittings in Uganda's four traditional regions is aimed at bridging the gap between parliament and the people. She explained that this initiative is rooted in a thorough cost-benefit analysis, considering the unique challenges faced by each region. However, as the first regional sittings wound up on Friday, a keen observer could not skip some of the highlights from the events in Gulu. Number one, despite the boycott which was declared by the opposition cabinet, who insist that regional sittings are a waste of public money, some members of the opposition attended the sittings. Number two, on the second day of the sittings at Kaunda grounds in Gulu City, the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, addressed the parliament, giving the whole project the executive approval. The House also moved a motion appreciating President Yoweri Museveni for restoring peace and stability in northern Uganda. Number three, like it was promised at the beginning, the proceedings of plenary and the deliberations in Gulu focused only on matters relating to northern Uganda, including education and health services in the region, transport infrastructure in the region, and the matter relating to compensation of war victims, among other things. Now, the dialogue delves deep into analysis of these events and the politics behind the scenes, evaluating the impact of the inaugural regional parliamentary sitting in Gulu, looking at the hits and the misses during this historical event.
Good. Welcome once again. Let me take the pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Jared Wanzara, a public policy researcher and a regular panelist. Welcome to the dialogue this morning.
Yeah, thank you, Apollo. Good morning, and good morning to our viewers. Our viewers, we are really happy to be with you every Saturday. Without you, the show is meaningless.
True.
I'm also happy to be here with my colleague in the CSO struggle. I'm happy to see you. He will introduce himself. And of course, my mentor, my elder, Commissioner Chayunese Nyonjo. Glad to see you, sir.
Thank you. And again, it's a pleasure to introduce to you our audience, Timothy Chemongez. Timothy is a policy analyst, but he's the associate director for Parliament Watch Uganda. I'm happy to have you on the show, Timothy.
Thank you, Apollo. Good morning to our viewers and listeners wherever they are watching us from. Glad to be here, but also joining the panel to to make sense of what's happening in the country, but also contribute to the matters of the country.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Viewers, it's a great honor also to have on the show this morning Professor Cheyune Senyonjo, and I call him Professor because he is. He's a political analyst, but also a lecturer of political science, and again a Pan-Africanist, but he serves in government as the RDC Nabila Tuku. Happy to have you on the show, Mr. Senyonjo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Apollo. I'm very glad to be here. If I look dozing, because I moved.
Yeah, true.
I moved yesterday and slept in between journey and set off very early
Yeah,
to be able
to attend this show.
invitation.
Thank
I'm
you.
very grateful that
Thank you.
you invited me. I'm happy to meet Gerard Wanga, Wenge, mwana wefe bamasa.
That's an house similar.
Mr. Chimonge is here.
Yeah.
For us there we say, is it Takwenyu is for women?
Yeah.
Then Subai, Tabo.
Oh, they have a special greeting for a man and special for a woman.
Yes, you don't greet the man the same way, the way you people keep greeting like that.
Oh,
Yes, before anything else, Mr. Apollo, I was even looking at your picture on the WhatsApp, that what you call profile. I saw the picture of our great friend who departed recently, Tamale Mirundi. And I want to thank you very much for honoring him. And I want to say condolences to all the viewers, not the people of Uganda. Because when I was at the burial there, not everybody was there, and not everybody was easy to reach, access. So Apollo, I thank you very much for being faithful and a committed friend for in life and after death.
Yeah.
Because that is not common. People just easily forget others like that. But I thank you for that.
thank you. Cheyune is with us this morning specifically because he has spent more time in northern Uganda, and most of the issues will be deliberating on issues relating to the sitting that was in Gulu, which was specifically also deliberating on issues relating to northern Uganda. Let's kick off the discussion, gentlemen. Dr. Wanzala, quickly tell us, we gave this issue good time. We discussed the planned parliamentary sittings then, and here we are. Sittings were largely successful, I can say, and after all has been said and done, can you now pick out if there could be hits or misses in this whole project?
Thank you very much, Apollo. I always feel good when I have this opportunity to discuss especially issues pertaining to our parliament and the decisions that are taken in this country. I took this quotation very, very seriously, that politics is so serious a matter that it should not be left to politicians alone, because they enjoy delegated authority from us.
True.
And as you recall, our constitution is very clear. We have the power in Article 33 to influence how we are governed, either individually or through our civic organizations like SEPA, UPMAC, where I belong, universities, academia. So it is critical that we analyze this. Now, I have not changed my position from the position I had last week when we were discussing the regional parliaments. I want to say that as a country, we must have a list of priorities. And the priorities that are ranked from the most important to the lowest,
To the least important.
That is very crucial, even in our private lives. I also want to reiterate that in the same week, we are discussing how KSCCA has been struggling to request for 4 billion to acquire land to decommission Chitezi, but in all subsequent budgets they keep removing from the budget. And then, but when it comes to what I call politicking, because what is happening in school is actually politicking. It has nothing to do with the service delivery, because taking parliament to the people does not mean to physically carry the whole parliament and take it there. It is about addressing the issues, parliament being relevant in addressing the issues that affect the people. Now, I will go into the issues I saw being discussed in Gulu. One of the issues I saw that were presented with the president was about Upper land.
The conflict
in Upper, which started around 2013. I remember I was a student doing my PhD. I saw a ministerial committee led by the late Aronda Nyakairima. It had Migereko, who was Minister for Lands, a delegation, a powerful delegation to Upper to meet the Madi community and the Acholi community. Because people had fought and then the arrows had killed a number of people. Now, when the ministers went there at that time, the ladies were so agitated that they had to lift their clothes and
to undress before the minister.
And they showed, actually when the late Aronda died and then Migereko lost the constituency, people said that it was due to the curses of the women in that place. I'm not sure about that, but that is what was in the public domain. Later, in the 9th parliament, when we were monitoring parliament, of course, I know you are one of our close partners, and you know a very big book I gave you. We transcribed the proceedings of a select committee on Upper land. I have that book. Anyone who wants it for reference, we transcribed.
The committee
answered. We took a committee, went, listened. They heard from the Acholi, they heard from the Langis. They came, Parliament adopted the report under the chairpersonship of Honorable Rebecca Kadaga, and those resolutions were presented to President Museveni. Eventually, another conflict about the same happened. To date, nothing has happened in Upper. No decision from the executive. It is coming to take 10 years. We also sent another ministerial committee. Then we also have a resolution in Parliament by the Acholi parliamentary group about the same issue. So, how do you convince me that your sitting of one day for 3 hours in Gulu can solve that problem? Because it's an executive problem. It's not even a parliamentary problem. Okay? 2. Infrastructure. This very year, you can bear me evidence. There is a resolution on Karuma Bridge and a number of recommendations by the Parliamentary Committee on Infrastructure and the plenary about Karuma. And then the fees that people are paying the game parks because of taking a longer route, how the bus proprietors are struggling. And there were many proposals even before, 10 years ago, that bridge was coming to end of what? Life. No action has taken place. Let's go to the issues of malnutrition,
agriculture,
Karamoja, and so forth. This has been ongoing. Every year, Karamoja loses over 600 people due to hunger and malnutrition.
True.
It is in the textbooks, the books of the leader of government business, office of the prime minister. Parliament knows it. Let's go to the issues of, of Zoka forests, Friends of Zoka. We have a whole movement. We are called Friends of Zoka, preservation of that forest. Powerful people go and cut trees, only trees, they come and sell timber. It's normal, The issue of Balalo has been around. The president sent a team, did investigations. The president pronounced himself about it. General Salim Saleh opposed it and also instituted his own investigations. To that, I know they have all the information. It's not a meeting of one day that can solve that problem. It needs a decisive action from the executive.
So you still insist the issues which were discussed
Now,
could have been adequately addressed while they are seated in Kampala, if they were to be addressed?
absolutely. And let me tell you, if it comes to supporting the local economy, by us carrying over 1,000 people to go and stay in the white elephants in Gulu, the hotels that don't have enough clientele, some of which are owned by members of parliament, then it is okay because the people have spent some money there. Food has been eaten. I'm not even sure whether the tent that they sat in is from Gulu or it was carried from Kololo, but some money has been spent. If it is about paying tribute to the family of the late Olanya, because when we buried him, we were told the UPDF was going to complete his house. With the moment we buried and the people disappeared, his building ended there. The UPDF also left the site. So I don't know if when we take flowers that I'm concluding in a minute. If it is about building a wall around Kaunda grounds as part of corporate social responsibility, I would understand. But then, why is Parliament getting so much into implementing projects in the communities? When money is wasted by Parliament, who is going to monitor them? Because we put Parliament there to monitor how
the local
our resources
through
are
local
spent.
governments and
So that's why I'm shocked now that we are not going to have the checks and balances that we envisaged in the law. That Parliament, its role, do laws, pass budgets, monitor government programs, question those who steal public funds. Now you who questions, if you keep on going and building a stadium here, you are doing this, you are doing... So at the end of the day, who is going to question you?
but Dr. Wanzala, don't you think, whereas these issues have been brought forward before, re-emphasizing their importance, the fact that during the sittings these issues have been raised again and re-emphasize it, especially about their importance, like on the issue of food shortage and food insecurity in the whole of northern Uganda. When they talked about the irrigation scheme and the importance of improving irrigation systems in the northern part of Uganda, doesn't it somehow help get these issues possibly sorted?
Now, Apple, first of all, northern Uganda, for instance, has land arable which can feed all of us as a country. Actually, if you invested in agriculture in Karamoja, and I love their land tenure system. Some people insult the communal land system as useless, but it is not. You know why? Because people live together, then they leave a lot of land for farming. So if I'm to empower such a community, one, they may just need strengthening the cooperative movement. Two, you need to strengthen the extension, agriculture extension services. Now this means that you have to work with the Ministry of Agriculture and the local governments to ensure that agriculture extension workers have the input to go and support agriculture. When I was young, I had the privilege to see the old sub-county model. Like my sub-county, Bubutu Town Council, now where I come from, we used to have a cattle dip, we used to have a cooperative, we used to have a social center, we used to have a health center, we used to have a tractor at the sub-county, and we used to have 2 cooperative societies, Masaba Cooperative Society, and also Mugisu Cooperative Society, which were affiliates of so at the end of the day, you would see that the agriculture officer had a house there. I remember a man called Masaba who used to inspect the gardens every morning, together with the parish chief, with others. Today, parish chiefs are only, everyone is singing parish model, parish model, parish model. No one is caring about anything else. The only job they do is to escort people to go and receive PDM money, and then they give them 100K, they disappear in the bars. The agriculture officers are staying in town, but their places, they are deployed in a vicinity. So how can we transform such a country?
Okay. Thank you so much, Doctor. And let me hear from you, Timothy. Dr. Wanzala insists that this would have been, the issues that were addressed in Gulu would have been addressed in Kampala. But the proponents of the sittings also insist that this is bridging the gap between the parliament and the people, re-emphasizing that this is making the parliament the people's parliament.
So I agree with, first of all, what Gerard says in light of the submissions of the sittings in Gulu. But also, more importantly, maybe to just interrogate and really to understand, what does bringing parliament close to the people mean exactly? Is it in terms of proximity? Actually, the gap between parliament and the people is service delivery, is good health care, is good infrastructure, is good governance system. That is the gap. And that the people are not interested in you coming to where they are. They're interested in having those services closer to them. They're interested in the challenges of the health care addressed, the challenges of infrastructure addressed. In fact, Parliament is actually premised within the central region. And if proximity in terms of physical presence is an item to maybe consider, and the challenges that we are facing, the proximity question is actually...
but you cannot compare the services in Kampala, where Parliament sits, to the services in Gulu or in any other part of northern region.
Do you think that the people within the central region and say Kampala, who are around the city, do you think they feel closer or they feel associated more with the institution of Parliament? Actually, I think they don't, because of the challenges that they are facing. What the people of Kampala want is that the roads that we are seeing, which have become a mess, those roads should be addressed. We are facing challenges of the health care and education and all the. Once those are addressed, then you can come and visit us. But also, more importantly, I think the question of visit should be a landmark. And maybe as we just now go into understanding what were the miss and hits, what could have been done well. I think that right from the start for me it was a miss, because this was a non-starter. I think it was a wrong decision. It was not timely, but also more importantly, the strategy that was put in place was not an appropriate one. So I think that first of all, Parliament should stick within its constitutional mandate of legislating, checking the executive, representing the people, but also more importantly ensuring that the resources that are within Parliament get to the people. Now, they should also stick to their mandate of ensuring that the executive do and implement what they should be doing. Now, once Parliament, because we've been facing the challenges where members of Parliament find themselves in a place where they have to do execution and implementation as individuals, as individual members of Parliament. And so what they are doing is that they are addressing the school fees problems, burial and all these challenges, which goes ahead to overweigh the members of Parliament and deviates them from their mandate. And so they now focus on delivering the needs and the needs of the people as opposed to executing their mandate. Now, where we find ourselves now is now from the members, we now find the institution itself actually extending now to implementation and trying to exercise a mandate which is not there. What that means is that it leaves the executive with a lot of leverage and excuses them from doing what they should be doing. What should have actually been done in Gulu, I think that there were committees that had already and
on the ground.
There were the committees that had already gone there. But also more importantly, the issues that the committee found and those that have been raised all time back, it should have been an accountability session where the executive come and provide clear way forward in terms of accountability, in terms of the issues that have been raised by the people, in light of the question of poverty. What is the executive saying? The good debates, the good English, the good conversations that are happening there is immaterial. Ultimately, what the people of this region want and are interested in is that the challenges that we are facing, how are they being addressed? It's not. It's far from members of parliament being there. Two, I think that while these regional parliaments are happening, it shouldn't distort the unity, the cohesion within these regions. If you look at what's happening currently in Gulu, you find that there is a bit of confusion in light of members of parliament. Each is competing, to find political relevance and trying to showcase what they're trying to showcase that they are good legislators. And so you find that members of parliament, together with the local leadership, get divided. And so by the time the regional parliament leaves there, it leaves the leaders divided, and they can't speak.
You will help me, Timothy, understand this. While you're saying that the people of Gulu and northern Uganda as a whole did not benefit from these sittings, it is something different on the ground. If you took time to listen to the responses from the people who had been interviewed, residents of Gulu who were interviewed, you would see that they were very excited and they were very hopeful. Parliament, the sitting in Gulu did them something, extraordinary.
Okay.
And even the business community, even the members of parliament from Gulu, they are in total support. They were in total, and they are still happy about these sittings. Talk about that contrast.
So maybe also, I've had a chance also to follow the proceedings, but also heard the comments, the concerns from the people. I agree that, there is a divide between those that are pro and those that are against. But listening to both and trying to assess. And
majority are happy, from what I can see.
Absolutely. In terms of assessing what sort of happiness this looks like, in terms of the objective of parliament. Ultimately, Apollo, the challenges that have been highlighted by Dr. Gerard here, the challenges of infrastructure, how have they been addressed? Are there specific commitments that we've had? The challenges of poverty, the Northern Region and specific Gulu, in the recent UBOS report, still ranks first in terms of poverty. Are there specific commitments that have been put there?
Yeah, but sorry to interrupt you, but you and me know that the reports were compiled. I can check and tell you that there was a report, some of those that were adopted during these sittings, a report of the Committee on Tourism, Trade and Industry and its findings on selected tourism sites in the districts of Dokolo, Lira, Gulu, Amuru, and there is that report. There's a Committee on Agriculture that was also tabled and adopted, and there is another committee report on health situation in northern Uganda, which was also adopted. Don't you think that after these reports have been adopted during these sittings, there will be action taken afterwards to change the situation for the better?
I see. So I think the question also to ask is, does the presence of Parliament in Gulu guarantee the implementation of this? Because it's not the first time that these resolutions are being passed. It's not the first time that these matters are coming to light. We've actually had more issues coming from the sitting in Kampala, more than the other side. Two, looking at the time, 1 week actually is very small time to have most of the issues of a specific region addressed. And so having to focus on members of parliament debate and all this kind of thing, it's for me a short change of time. Because what you need to see is that the executive can commit, because ultimately they are the ones responsible for having this done.
The president was there.
The president was there. What were the commitments that president had? The president, were there specific commitments in his speech?
Actually, in one of the interactions, the president did not agree with the speaker and parliament on the model of agriculture.
The 4-acre model.
Yeah, for him, he was emphasizing the 4-acre model, and the parliament was saying it's not fit for the Gulu situation.
Absolutely. So I think it's a healthy conversation. Really, there should be conversation, which is important on specific issues that are developmental. But the most important thing is that we need serious commitments. That there should be landmark commitments, landmark impact. By the time the parliament sitting gets done in Gulu, people of Gulu can confidently say that parliament came here and we were able to achieve 1, 2, 3. Beyond the question of resources, beyond there has to be tangible results. But also, more importantly, I think there are two things maybe I could just highlight. Is on the question of the local governance. The local government systems. We have the districts, we have the local government structures that also are mandated within the laws to ensure that they exercise their mandate in terms of having developments within those specific areas. I think the focus progressively should be towards empowering those structures. In fact, I've been recently in the western parts, and some of the challenges that local governments are facing, of course, first is about resources. Unfortunately, our system is largely centralized. A lot of resources,
And
a lot of funding. It is still at the center. Less than 10% of the budget goes towards local governments. And even that the resources that go to the local government, almost 80 to 90% goes into wages and payments. So you have very limited amount of money going into what we would call development. And so there's a substantial problem in terms of empowering these structures deliver. And so I think that progressively there should be conversation of ensuring that we are empowering these systems, these structures. The western part that I was there recently, they've not passed any ordinances, any bylaws in the last 3 years. And that's even worse with if you assess the previous sessions or previous times that they were there. You find that there are no ordinances, there are not laws, there are enforcement of those ordinances that are there is still a big problem. But partly because of their capacity, resources, and really the organizations, I think progressively beyond having parliaments going to the regions, because we have delegated instrument and structures within the local governments where they're supposed to exercise these powers, we should be going to ensure that we can empower them. But broadly speaking, I think that where Parliament is today may not, whether irrespective of where it's sitting, may not and is not in position to check the executive and ensure that the executive does what it's supposed to do.
Thank you so much, Timothy, and you again insist there are no hits, there are only misses that we can pick from the Gulu sitting.
I agree with that. I think that there is it's a short change really to the people of the region, but also the people of Uganda, because again, looking at all,
you didn't tell me why the people who were interviewed looked excited and they were happy about this the sitting in Gulu, the residents themselves were happy about it.
I know. So what makes people really happy? The Parliament being in Northern Region, you can't guarantee that everyone will be sad or everyone will be happy. From an analytical point of view,
I assume that only that excitement and the happiness within residents of Northern Uganda and Gulu. Good enough, we have a resident here in the studio of Northern Uganda who will give us that experience. That's in itself is a positive. It's a good thing that people are happy.
It should never be the objective of Parliament to go and excite people. That should never be the objective of Parliament, that people are happy. That should never. I think that there is a bigger happiness that Parliament should be looking at, but also they are charged with the specific mandate of serving a bigger happiness.
Thank you.
As opposed to,
Thank you so much, Timothy. And Timothy is a policy analyst working with Parliament Watch, and he's the Associate Director for Parliament Watch and Center for Policy Analysis. Not so?
Yes, that's
Thank
true.
you. Thank you. Viewers, you can be part of this discussion as usual. Send your comments and observations on our WhatsApp platform, or you can use our SMS platform. Be part of the debate. Tell us what you think about the inaugural regional sitting that happened in Gulu, and whether you can point out the hits, the scores from that particular sitting. And it's my pleasure now to hear from you, a resident of Northern Uganda, the government official who has been in Nabiratuk, generally Northern Uganda, for quite a time. You hosted the inaugural sitting of Parliament. You must be excited.
Okay, thank you very much, Apollo. I also once again want to thank my colleagues on the panel, Chimonges and Mwerehe, for the submissions so far. I wish to enable the viewers to understand this better, that this parliamentary sitting, which was for the northern region, sat in Gulu or Wacholi, but it included West Nile, much like Moyo and others. Then the north, which is basically Choli and Lamu, and then Karamoja. I've got our ordinary people here. They say, but now we are northerners. They usually think we is the northerner. So Karamoja is a sub-region, and with a special status. But for this sitting, it was part of the north.
Yeah.
Now, I have not worked in the north for long as RDC, but I know the north very well. Historically, even my politics is very much linked to the north. That's why I love the northerners very much. And I have tried to understand the northerners very well. Now, this Karamoja has got 9 districts, which Nabiratuk is one of them, which is a new district carved from Nakapilipiliti. Now, about this matter, and then the other thing I need to mention is that besides the north and what, I have moved to a greater part of this country.
Yeah, true.
I have some idea of what it is like. When you talk about the west, up to Kanungu, Kabale, apart from Kisoro, Bunyoro, that one I have been there. The east, Kapchora, I went up to CP to see.
CP Falls.
I became a tourist last year. Yes, I also became a tourist. Stayed in Bugisu is my home.
Yeah.
Where he knows this very well. And Bukedi. Now, then for Karamoja, I have not been to Karenga. I have not been to Amudat, but I've been to Kapilipiliti, Napak, Moroto, Kotido, Kabong, Abim. These are the districts that make up
Karamoja sub-region.
Yes, sub-region. Now, I want to straight away say, because you have posed the question and said Parliament sitting in Gulu, where the critics proven wrong, wrong. I want to proceed on this premise, that as far as I can see, it was a win-win.
Oh.
Or a lose-lose. The critics lost 50%,
yeah,
and then the proponents also lost 50%.
That's interesting.
Or they won 50, actually they are at par.
It's a draw,
Yes,
a tie.
It's a draw. I agree with the number of submissions that my colleagues here have made. I want to move from the historical perspective. There was a man called Chancellor von Bismarck, who in 1884,
In Germany.
yes, 1884-85, convened a very successful imperialist conference known as the Berlin Conference for the scrap and partition of Africa. Chancellor Bismarck had never stepped in Africa and did not have to convene the conference in Africa to succeed in partitioning of Africa. And indeed, as we all know, all of us are victims of that ugly conference. All of us, with the exception of Ethiopia,
Which was not colonized.
Yes, in 1900, all of us were suffering the colonial yoke. Now one should wonder, why was it successful, that historical conference? Yet it had not been convened here on the ground. One, there was political will, that extraordinary commitment by the imperialists that we must achieve our goal. Number two, they had the requisite resources. They had the manpower, the men they could able send here to Africa. People have been reading about the those who the precursors of colonial rule,
The grant.
Yes, those ones. Then you had the Lugardis who came now to
implement,
install colonial rule here. The other factor that enabled them was the unique patriotism. These all agents of colonialism did not deviate from the colonial agenda, and they did not even divert the resources that they had been entrusted with to come and effect the will of the imperialists in Europe. How we are together. Now, that is what those three factors to me.
I request you to relate them with Karamoja,
yes,
and the northern region.
Northern Uganda and the sittings. Those and Uganda, actually the entire Uganda and this project. Actually, I like the word project.
Yeah.
Because it's a project.
It is.
We shall assess it. The good thing, these are policy analysts. For me, I'm an overseer of policy implementation, and I'm speaking from that perspective. Now, it is those three that I've mentioned, perhaps with plus other factors, that are required for a government, for a nation, for even a parliament to make more sense. In that, what was being deliberated upon in northern Uganda now and will be deliberated upon in western, where are not new.
Oh.
Their demands. I got an opportunity. I just used my laptop on the first day, Thursday, to follow the proceedings. They're very simple.
You didn't find anything new in what was being deliberated.
Nothing new. Roads, Karuma is Karuma new. The road from Karuma Pakwachi to Arua. I happen to have passed on that road first before it was made, and the second when it was tarmacked. I have not gone there. Now that I'm told it is once again in a dilapidated state. Then, when you talk about the hunger,
Yeah, the food
Karamoja.
insecurity.
Food insecurity, then the education of children. Incidentally, we as RDCs, we normally have conferences in Moroto. Actually, we can even accuse of these people of having stolen our ideas. We have been pushing this thing together with the chairman 5, pushing that if we are to make sense in Karamoja, primary education should be compulsory.
Actually, that was one of the resolutions which were
that's not
made.
Then the other thing is that the National Planning Authority under this professor, the lady, I've forgotten her name, who is the chairperson, Mbabazi, Professor Mbabazi, was with us last November, again presenting a proposal on how to effect free compulsory primary school education for Karamoja.
So that was also not new in any
To
way.
my ears, it is not new. Maybe the words that they used could have been new and so on. Now, having parliament at regional level, to me presupposes that parliament has failed to articulate issues in Kampala, in its traditional seat in Kampala. That's the presupposition I make. Now they said let's go
to the ground.
And then be there closer.
What's wrong with it if it could bring results?
No, it is actually they are hits, as you say. One is that they are now having a more realistic feel of
what is happening.
Situation. Some of them, Dr. Bedi Bwanika invited us in just about, I think, could have been a beginning of August or late July, invited us to Moroto, all of us, all RDC's chairman, 5, to interact with us. Their committee, they had a committee, which was dominated by Noob, on restocking program of Karamoja, restocking, those who lost cows. Incidentally, Karamojong's raiding themselves, then government commits itself to restock.
Yeah, it is the government of the people.
I have a problem with that. I keep asking them, that is it the Bamasaba who are near you who are raiding you? They say no. Is it the Sabine? No. Is it the Ites who raid you? They say no. Is it the Baganda? No. Is it the Banyankoli who have cows like you? No. It is Karamojong raiding Karamojong. Now when they do that, then the nation commits resources, all of us commits resources to restore.
You find it unreasonable.
Again, they come and raid. Then we keep, how can we manage? Now, but those are now other debates. Now, the hit is, the Dr. Bwanika, when he led that committee, he must have got a better understanding of the problems of Karamoja, problem of the North, with the restocking.
That committee came immediately before this sitting.
It was in preparation.
Oh, yeah.
We got to understand. Then the other thing, it is an innovation. We should never shout out to innovation.
Parliamentary sittings
we commend them.
Is a form of innovation.
It is an innovation because it is unprecedented.
It's actually precedented. In 2008, we had sittings in Masaka.
Yeah, somewhere I saw it somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, but Masaka and where it is. But this one is now going to do, it is defined, say regional, and we are going to traverse the whole country, including Masaka, because Masaka now, that's Buganda. Buganda is being awarded double.
Because already the parliament is
here. Now, the other thing is symbolism.
Oh.
It is symbolism. And you see Napoleon Bonaparte of France said that men are led by toys. Toys. Yes. Toys, not real things. Create an impression that we are near you.
Oh.
Yes, we are near you. They are speaking English. Are they following English? I tried to on Friday, after I had a security meeting, a security committee meeting. I came to a restaurant where people normally view the TV.
Yeah, and
The
follow
TV
the proceedings.
was broadcasting, I think, a dance or something.
Oh.
It is me who insisted and asked a worker that, please.
So are you
let
saying
us see.
even the residents did not have
I
interest
think
in?
it passed unnoticed to many of them.
Really?
Yes, this is what I'm telling you. I expected that restaurant to be full.
In the area.
But when there is Arsenal versus Liverpool,
in that area,
the thing is full up.
in that area under your jurisdiction,
Yes.
as the RDC, where people not really interested in these sittings, were not they were they not excited as we picked from the few comments?
I may not say a definite no or yes, because I'm disadvantaged by language. Because normally for me I pick these fields through language. But if I could hear the language, I could have passed in the night or where to hear what they are saying. I did not hear because I don't understand Karamajong language. But the elites, even the elites that I interact with,
We are not interested.
I found nobody in that room. It is us, the security team, which went, and I insisted.
I'm afraid
yes, we should have.
I'm running out of time. I have to go for a break. But when we return, Professor Choine, I will again ask you to expound more on especially the hits. What we would say as scores during these parliamentary sittings. Good enough, you are a resident of northern Uganda, and that is majorly why we are happy that you are today on this show, and you will continue to tell us whether that 50-50 you're talking about is real or it's not. The dialogue is going to a break, and when we return, the panelists will continue to dig deep to unveil the hits and misses that could have emerged out of the Gulu sitting. My name is Prince Apollo. Let's go for a break and return after this short while. Good morning once again, and welcome to this next second segment of the dialogue. My name is Prince Apollo. On the show, we have Dr. Gerard Werihe Wanzala. He's a public policy researcher
And a teacher.
and a lecturer at Uganda Management Institute. We have Choine Senyonjo, and Choine is a professor of political science.
They will ask you so many questions.
And he's a lecturer also at, you're still lecturing at Cavendish, or you?
No, Karamoja is too far.
Karamoja is too far, yeah. He's the RDC Nabiratuk, and Nabiratuk is in the northern region of Uganda, which was hosting the first parliamentary sitting this week. We also have on the show Timothy Chimongez, and Timothy is a policy analyst working with Parliament Watch as the associate director, one of those media outlets in this country. We are looking at what could be the hits and misses from the Gulu parliamentary sitting, and we again encourage you to download the new Salt Media app. You go to the Google App Store or the Apple App Store. You download that new app. It is very easy to use. It has very many features, and you can always follow the programs outside your house, whether on the road, whether in your office, using your phone, using your iPad or laptop or what. You can easily follow Salt Media programs using the new Salt Media app. Please download it. Let's again encourage you to send in your comments and observations, like Richard, who is at Kasese Bwera border, Richard Dumba, sent in a message. He says, I don't know whether Jesus will be able to come back in our corrupted Uganda. How can the parliament go and enjoy when the garbage and bad roads in Kampala are seriously like this? And actually we still have a public health problem in Kampala ever since the Chitezi tragedy befell us. The garbage is all over this city. There was a joke on social media that the parliamentarians are running away from the stinking garbage in Kampala. That's why they went to Gulu. And actually Gulu is one of the cleanest cities we have in this country. So it was a joke. But what we have been told over and over again is that they are taking parliament closer to the people. And the criticism is not only on that. It has also been on how much is being spent. And I don't know if any of us here, as it stands now, knows how much has been spent on the sittings in Gulu. We can only speculate, but it has been in the range of 5 billion. Chaine, please prepare to conclude on your matter, but there are other comments coming in. Here is James Nimbale. He says, good morning, Mr. Apollo. Being happy without development is a mockery. Let us wait what the sitting will bring to the region. Actually, it is going to Mbale soon. But most of us are not happy with the leader of opposition because he blindfolded opposition MPs. This was a kind of outreach and follow-up of the money they have been budgeting. On the other hand, it's a chance for them as opposition to interact, I think, with some of their supporters. The idea of electing leader of opposition, I totally okay, I think he's commenting on our next topic, because we also need to talk about the proposal that is now being floated that the leader of opposition should be elected, contrary to what has been the norm. Thank you so much. I'll get to that when we get there. I'll read that comment when we get there. Someone here says, he's Kaziba Moses. He says, greetings. Timothy's problem is negative mindset. There is a big lesson we have learned. To say it is observed that a country we need to have regional tier or regional governments with regional parliaments and a national parliament with 2 representatives from each sub-region. Timothy should also understand that Speaker ordered only to talk about what is not done and leave out what has been done. Did you hear that? He specifically responds to you, Timothy, and he says maybe you are negative about this thing, but he raises the issue of regional tier, that this has resurrected the need for regional tier, that if possibly there was a regional parliament, then there wouldn't be need for parliament to move to all these regions. Thank you so much, Kasba Moses. Another message here. I'm sorry, I have to get them out of the way so that we kick off on a clear note. Mr. Apollo, thanks for the program. I'm saying parliament sitting being in Gulu is not good because they are misusing money instead of doing things that can be done to overcome poverty in the country. So no poverty. He assumes that now there is no poverty in the country. There is no use of sitting in the area they come from. Just they give all members of parliament a chance to. Okay, the message is somehow fragmented, but it's very clear from this message that he's not happy. He's RK25 Uganda from Bunyangabu, Chibito Town Council. Thank you so much, our viewers from Chibito is in the western part of, is it Koima, that side? Toro. Thank you so much, Batoro, and the community is there for watching. Professor Chaine, quickly, if you can wind up.
Yes.
We would want to hear from that 50 that you said were the scores from the hits from these cities.
No, I told you that the MPs were able to discuss from a point of knowledge.
Yeah,
because they have gone and they got acclimatized.
First-hand information.
Situation. Those who care. Even the roads they are talking about, they go to understand them better. The other thing is that this kind of arrangement could promote a better sense of nationalism.
Oh.
Because
relating to what the history you related to of the Berlin Conference, which fragmented.
Yes, because I can state here without fear of contradiction that there is a lot of parochialism in this country amongst the common people and amongst the elites, even including the MPs. So I was very happy when I saw the MP for Rugazi municipality, Stephen Serubula, the Nupu man, in Karamoja. I was very happy to see the MP for Bamunanika, another young man from Nupu.
Yeah, he's Kafero.
I have forgotten the other name, the name, because these are the people who I know very well who come from the same area. Bamunanika is near Nachifumo, where I come from. Now I know for a fact that such people may have very limited knowledge of Uganda, but now getting into Gulu and to deliberate on matters of that kind by such people could help to make them appreciate what these other regions are. Now when they go to the west, they will find a different picture in Mbarara, because they will be in Mbarara city. Mbarara has grown at a very supersonic speed. Like even Gulu has been growing at a supersonic speed. But the outskirts of Gulu, outside Gulu, that's Karamoja, West Nile and what, these were just crying. Now, having said that, I want to say that all these could have been discussed in Kampala. Because the parliament is called the National Assembly. National Assembly ought to be membered with citizens of a national outlook, those who understand the nation. I don't need now, for instance, for me, from what my studies, I know that northern Uganda has been historically disadvantaged by the colonial administration and even immediate post-colonial governments, including Bunyoro, because the Bunyoro had been isolated because they fought the colonialists. Now it was deliberately left. You know the history of the lost counties. You know. These people have been squatters on land which is not theirs. The land, when they're given that they belong to Bunyoro, they belong to Bunyoro without having territory. They didn't have territory until the intervention of the president and government of
they are giving them now land titles.
Now, because if when you have a national outlook, you can deliberate on any matter outside where you come from. This has not been the case. We hope it will improve. Let me give you an example. This current government of NRM has put in place a number of infrastructures, roads, Soroti Dokoro, Muyembe, Kapuchoro Assam, Tamak Road. Currently, the road from Muyembe, Namaru, Nakapiripirit is about 70% tarmacked. And when you are going to Karamoja, when you pass through Soroti, Mbale Soroti, you can go up to Moroto without touching Maram. You go now, it means that you go through Muyembe, Namaru, the other side Nakapiripirit, Moroto without touching Maram. There is a power for both industrial and domestic use. It is connected.
Really?
Yes, people don't know.
But West Nile has just been connected.
Yes, I'm talking about Karamoja. Then the other thing is that water. Government has tried to distribute water water sources, especially boreholes, you know, and even running water in Karamoja. That did not require regional sittings.
Oh.
In 1960s,
No, I heard the president respond to the issue of roads during that interaction with the legislators, telling them that the issue of roads may not be an issue for northern Uganda because even the good roads we have built in Karamoja are not being utilized optimally. That they are not using them for the...
No, the good example is the Tirinyi, Palisa, Palisa Kumi, Palisa Kamonkoli, one of the best roads now. Built when I supervised the road construction because I was in Palisa that time. What is it used for? Apart from the cows that come from Karamoja and the Soroti side, Kaperebiong, Amuria, for drying cassava.
Imagine.
Now, but that is making that road by the government did not require regional sittings. In 1960s, the UPC1 government distributed evenly 22 hospitals.
Across the country.
Kiriandongos, Kawolo Hospital, Chivoga Hospital, Itojo, Anaka in Gulu. Evenly, it did not require a regional sitting. Yes. So what you need are the things I told you. In addition, the brains. Do you have the brains? Because when you are a member of parliament, you are expected, because a political arena like parliament is what the political scientist David Easton, there is a man called David Easton described as the inputs output. There is an input output. Now the input is what you come to articulate for your area, and then the output, the results. What do we see when you came and presented the matter? What do we see? Now there was even what is this thing called? What is this one of favoring some people intentionally? What is that policy called? Like the women affirmative. Now
action.
there was affirmative action in terms of talking. That did not. I hated it. That only northerners affirmative. It means here in Kampala, the speaker does not see them. Why doesn't see them and sees Semujunganda? Sees the Rutamaguzi?
The brain.
The brain. You know, there is a man Masaba, Karim Masaba from Umbari.
But that's one fluent speaker.
Masaba is ever on the floor. This Mafabi, Nandala Mafabi on the floor. There is a UPC man from, I think, Aleptong. I've forgotten his name. They are ever on the floor.
Jonathan Odur.
Odur, that's Odur. How come these other ones, I saw them mentioning roads? I think they know now even mentioning roads going to the well. Because they mentioned very many roads. Now to me, it is about what I told you, the resources.
Yeah. We
can mention, in fact, the negative effect of this is that these regional parliament sitting could have incited the people.
Oh.
Because now people could think that now that our things have been mentioned, tomorrow we are seeing the road.
Yeah, true.
Tomorrow, next year, 5 years,
No road.
10 years, no road, then they will hate us. They will hate us as government and say, you are not doing anything. I heard the MPs mentioning roads that have been appearing in NRM manifestos since 1996.
Even compensation of war victims, yes. Those issues.
Now, when you take a regional sitting there, people think, apart from the Muchomo that they have sold and the Chapata and so on, the business, now the analytical ones are going to say, they have mentioned the rehabilitation of Dokoro, Lira Dokoro Soroti Road, because now it is not in a good shape. It was one of the best when I first visited that place. Now let us see. 1 year, 2 years. Now they say, you told us lie. Government, they not say the MP. You government told us a lie. You brought even the parliament here. So that is one of the negative effects we are likely to reap.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, I think after all the dust has settled, after we have gone through these regions, I think the academics, the NGO workers, the civil society like this, the political activists and others need to sit down and do a reflection, a soul searching, and say, because that is a project. When a project is being implemented, you do monitoring and evaluation.
Yeah, M&E.
Yes. Did we achieve what we intended? What did we intend? And at the end of the day, we shall say, let it be sustained or not. Now, for us to say regional tier and so on, let me inform Kaziba and others that district councils at the moment have been sitting and passed very important resolutions.
Oh.
But many of these resolutions just remain on paper.
Yeah, true.
The other thing, Timothy talked about
funding that goes back to
he talked
local
about
governments.
bylaws and ordinances. Practically, all the districts have been. None has passed an ordinance. When I ask them, they say it is very difficult to push through an ordinance.
That's true.
It is hazardous. Now, what then regional tier? What miracles will it make?
Okay, thank you so much, Cheine Senyonjo. Thank you so much, our viewers. This is The Dialogue. We continue to interrogate the hits and misses from the sitting of Parliament in Gulu. Okay, let me get these comments. Thanks for the show. It is useless for opposition to boycott regional sittings, yet they take part in Parliament programs that spend billions. Today, I learned that Cabinet of LOP receive allowances, yet they can't raise a motion to adjust them. Let the LOP be elected to show democracy and cater for the other political parties. I am Mukta from Wakiso. That is the topic we'll be delving into in the next few minutes. The big question of the day is, what has government done to improve lives? You didn't give us your name. Joseph Wabusa. Thank you. Joseph Wabusa. He emphasizes the outcome, not the sitting. In terms of services. Morning Apollo, I am in support for regional sitting, but they should focus on solutions other than proposals. Executive should move and answer the queries of the people. Actually, that's another. I think it feeds into, it connects with what Chaine said, that, well, issues can be raised during or identified during these sittings, but will the executive respond appropriately to deliver the services?
Because you need the funds.
You need the funds. But it is Parliament again that appropriates. It is.
What percentage are they allowed?
Dr. Wili Wanzala, we should conclude. We should conclude on this issue. But now, with all the criticism that has been going around, what do you expect now? Will we see the proponents of these sittings, well, do some quick evaluation and possibly adjust somehow? What do you expect? Or because actually they said when they come back to Kampala they will mention the date for the next sitting. Do they need to first do some evaluation and make adjustments? What do you think?
Of course, I want to believe that when they started and they saw the criticisms from the public, you saw them upping up their game, recording some MPs to defend some voices, and what every MP is saying about regional sitting. It was part of public relations to defend what they were doing, and I would imagine that after that they are going to sit down and evaluate. But I want to tell the people, especially northern Uganda, where we had the inaugural, that some of these challenges, like restocking, are as old as 1988. President Museveni is not new. He is 38 years here, and he's going to make 40 in government. We have had, I was in the 2001 election, 1996, people like Cecily Ogwal, people like the late Paul Kawanga Semogere made this restocking an issue, political issue. In fact, after 2001 elections, there were some bulls that were distributed in Bukedi, Teso, but eventually people started complaining that they were bringing very heavy bulls for their thin cows and nothing came out of that project.
That's corruption.
It came out of it.
That is
So,
eating up everything.
If that sitting in Gulu had been a sanction to put the executive on a firing line, that on APA, it is 10 years, what have you done? On restocking, it is 30-something years, what have you done? Incursions of Karimojong into Pader, Patongo, and so forth, killing the Acholis, is still going on. The president has been there, even the first son went there, held a meeting. What has happened? The president, I participated in the first disarmament process in Karamoja under the Civil Military Cooperation Project by Africa Leadership Institute. We went to support the army on the human rights aspect. We went to try to reform because they would take the guns from the people, but they don't mind about the movement from the gun economy to money economy. So we started organizing the warrior squads, reformed warrior squads. Now, it would have been, I saw the president saying, the problem is we recruited Karim Mojongwa, these are reformed warriors, into unstock theft unit.
Karachunas.
And then our soldiers stole their allowances. So the issue would have been, President Museveni, what did you do to the soldiers who stole the allowances
So you're
and
saying
salaries
these
for
sittings should be putting the executive in the spotlight on what they committed or
Absolutely.
they are ought to do.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That. And then the other is that, do we need projects like fencing everywhere? Kaunda grounds? Why are we obsessed with so many concretes everywhere? Kororo Independence Square is now a no-go zone. It's being fenced. Are the leaders now owning these as private, that citizens cannot access them? I think these are the questions.
These are the questions we should be asking. Timothy, your parting shot on this issue. Going forward, what do you see? What should we expect now?
So I think that Parliament should come back and reflect, really. Ultimately, the best and the top interest is to ensure that there is service delivery, that the people benefit, but also more importantly, the issues that have been raised, the issues that are bedeviling these specific regions are addressed, but also more importantly, the people benefit. And when Parliament comes back, it's just fair to assess and see where did we go wrong, assess the question of time, assess the question of the proceedings, the approach, in terms
should they also consider maybe suspending this project? I mean, forever. I mean, for some time.
I mean, the thing is that is also part of assessment, really. If you were to advise me, if I was to advise, I think I would ask that be halted for now. We go back to the drawing board and see what is the best way possible. But again, these are politicians. You see that the time is ticking. And there is a deliberate approach to ensure that a specific agenda is addressed, and so there is not so much in terms of luxury of time to wait. But in the short term, given the fact that there is the deliberate interest from Parliament as an institution to have these regional sittings, I think it's fair to come back to the drawing board, assess the areas that needs to be assessed, but more importantly, I think ultimately it would be to ensure that the executive execute the resolutions, the mandate, the directives that parliaments have passed in the past, and those that are being considered in these sittings, so that the people benefit, so that the region benefits.
In the end, we want to see people get the services they deserve. Thank you so much, viewers, and we need to move on, gentlemen, and look at another important issue. But there are comments also coming in. He says, okay, sorry, what I meant is weakening the opposition side. I think this is what we are going to discuss. My friend James in Imbale, I'll read your comment when the panelists have made their submissions on the matter. But keep on sending in those messages, those who are watching. Hello, Chief. Thank those who are getting surprised by what this parliament is doing and is about to do are the ones who surprise me. They deserve a thorough beating on their butts, spiced with pulling off their ears. How many times shall we announce to them that this is a dead parliament? No, but in Kabale. Well, that is your opinion, and
Wants to go native.
we respect your opinions. He's a citizen who is not happy about how the state of affairs are being handled by Parliament. Let's now quickly look at the proposed bill that will pave way for election of the leader of opposition in Parliament, and together with the opposition chief whip, it is Mitiana South MP, Honorable Richard Rumu, who tabled these proposals. Actually, it's another issue possibly you look at, because when Sechkubo stood and raised the matter of the censure, he was shut down because it was not a Gulu matter, a northern region matter. But when Rumu had an opportunity, he was allowed. Anyway, that is it. But let's quickly hear from you, Dr. Jiren Wansara. What do you think is the politics behind this whole, I don't want to call it a project, but it has already been sanctioned because he was granted leave to draft that bill?
Apple, every other day in this country, I think it's making us sad and sad and sad again.
Really?
Why? I think we have a crop of political leaders, both in the ruling party and in the opposition, who do not contextualize these issues before they come up. There is a conspiracy by a group of people to hijack every opportunity that citizens have to check government and put it in their armpits. To be quick on this matter, I followed events very well when Uganda moved from a one-party system disguised as a no-party system, the NRM, the movement system, to the multipartism. I was a student at Makerere University. And the debate by the brains at that time, who included the respected former chairman of the FDC, that is Sam Njuba, and the like-minded, and the people then, the same people who were on the side of NRM, on the movement, people like the Bidandi Salis, people like the Ria Kategayas, people like the Mama Mbabasis, the gentlemen we knew who founded this NRM. They said Uganda is a member of the Commonwealth and wanted to model its multi-party democracy on the basis of other Commonwealth countries, where the opposition in parliament has an opportunity to check government and to introduce alternative policies. And in this, they had to create order by having what they call an alternative government in parliament. And therefore, this in all other Commonwealth parliaments, the practice is the party that comes has majority in the opposition forms government. It is up to them to pick some people from
Their own.
the certain political parties, probably to bring cohesion and be part. Even now, I know that there are some people in FDC who are in the shadow, like Samu Junganda, who are in the shadow cabinet. You have some, Jonathan Odur, whose
From
party
UPC.
NRM is cooperating with the NRA,
UPC,
but he is co-opted in the opposition government. Now, why did they choose like that? One, it creates order because then you have more from the majority party in the opposition, and then so it can bring a source of cohesion. It is also easy to steer through the alternative policies of the government in waiting. Now, our friends, the British, what they do is that a political party that emerges second, its leader also sits in the parliament. And that was the idea of Sam Munjuba. In fact, Sam Munjuba wanted to vacate his seat to give Besigye an opportunity to come and lead the opposition in the parliament. So they have that control and the opposition can toe the line. Now today, we are having, in all manners, without shame, I want to say that the opposition has systematically been co-opted into shadow deals within parliament. Committees of parliament are no longer effective. The public accounts committees, COSASE, what? Everyone is just running around. Hey, mommy, daddy, you know, looking for resources, how to partake in sharing resources of the taxpayer, making the parliament increasingly irrelevant to the citizens of Uganda. And yet, it shouldn't be so. For me, it pains me because...
Listen. The mover says, the current legal framework makes it impossible for members of the opposition to hold their leaders in parliament accountable since they are imposed on them by the largest opposition party, which by law designates the rope and opposition chief.
I think that's all nonsense. I will say that. Because if you cannot hold yourself accountable at individual level, how are you going to expect? But also, let me tell you, every time there are contradictions in the parliament, this matter emerges. In the 9th parliament, it is Honorable Segona who wanted an amendment in the Administration of Parliament Act. He sought leave of parliament, but it was not in the interest of the Honorable Rebecca Kadaga, because he saw that it was a source of confusion within the opposition. It never saw the light of the day. But that time they were saying, oh, they thought they can become, you know, get these positions, you know. Then this is the second time the matter is being introduced. And when is it being introduced? At the time when the current leader of opposition is challenging government on issues of accountability, is challenging parliament on issues of reckless spending. It doesn't matter. I don't stay with Senyonyi. I don't know about his private life. However, the issues that he raises as a law are pertinent to me.
So you insist this will bring confusion and it could be in the interest of
the whole conspiracy is to dilute the parliament of Uganda.
Thank you.
So that it loses relevance and anything can go through.
Thank you so much.
And every Ugandan should be concerned
in the
about
interest
that.
of time, Timothy, the mover also says that the current manner of election of the leader of opposition in parliament has not only led to the suppression of the views of other opposition political parties in parliament, but also made it almost impossible for the what? Okay, I think I'll find it. But you've heard it, that the current arrangement suppresses the voices of other opposition political members.
Yeah, so I think that the biggest loser in the upcoming amendment is the democracy. Because democracy is such that people's views, especially within the democratic dispensation, the opposition should be able to check the ruling government, but also should provide alternatives. At the point of elections, and I think this probably we should look at it from the perspective of the winners take it all mentality, but also the politics of winners take it all. And across the world, the first runners-up party is given the opportunity
as an alternative
government, so that they're able to provide what they should have what they had promised the public, probably present through this office. Kenya has been benchmarking this from Uganda, and as our viewers may know, Kenya is struggling and has been struggling with the nature of their politics that actually becomes chaotic, partly because of the winners take it all mentality. That you have the first runners up, who in the last elections was Raila, and he goes home with nothing. And so they have been mooting an idea of establishing an office of the official leader of opposition. Even if it's not the presidential candidate, it should be the party that he represents that takes lead in the opposition. And there is an office with resources, with staff, with technical support from government, so that they're able to champion this cause. And so I think that the efforts to frustrate that initiative is a fight for against democracy. And
where is this fight coming from? Who is fighting who?
So as it is today, as it is now, you definitely see that Honorable Lumu is
a member of the opposition.
Is a member of the opposition, but is a scapegoat. He is allowing to be used by the executive and part of the leadership of parliament, who actually I think are interested in disorganizing how the opposition operates, but also the ability to check. Part of this has been really the recent developments that the opposition have been putting. The fight against question of corruption, their firm position in terms of what's happening in the commission, the concerns around their boycotts, but also the firm position, which by the way should be within their mandate, that they should be able to take action, they should express themselves in any manner of disgruntlement, and really to promote alternatives in light of what's happening. And so I think that this is unfortunate, and we shouldn't allow the country to take that direction, partly because we need to ensure that we can coexist. And it's unfortunate, by the way, that the proposed motion seems to be only one-sided. Why would it be that it's only the chief opposition whip or the leader of opposition who is approved by the House, and not the leader of government business on the other side?
On the government side.
Yeah, so there should be a bit of balance. But even then, I think that there should be a sense in which you promote alternative views in Parliament. We should be able to allow for alternative views in Parliament, broadly speaking, but also allow members of Parliament share what they think.
So you said the loser is democracy.
The loser is democracy.
The
loser is the people
victim
of Uganda.
is democracy.
The victim is the people of Uganda.
Thank
democracy.
you. Thank you so much, and I'm pleased to understand that Dr. Gerard Siranda is watching, and he sent a message here. I want to read it before I bring in Professor Senyonjo. Dr. Gerard Siranda is the Secretary General for the Democratic Party and a member of the East African Legislative Assembly. He says, this is not good for our multi-party dispensation. In my view, this proposed bill will completely take away all powers, all links, relationship, and allegiance between party headquarters, stroke party leadership, and parliamentary whips, stroke leadership in parliament. And yet, in a multi-party dispensation, the party should work as control towers of parliament. This motion should be talking and thinking more about how we get to share the benefits and resources allocated by Parliament to the office of the leadership of opposition. We need to be allocated our percent of DP, UPC, PPP, GEMA, and FDC, and not all resources being controlled by NUP. We need the voice and the policy positions of DP as the Democratic Party, because we don't have a political party called opposition in Parliament. And he continues, just one, then it just kills the entire idea of political parties being the control tower or watchtower from where the airport traffic, in this case, which is Parliament, is directed and controlled in multi-party dispensation. Because the leader of opposition is the floor leader of the minority opposition side in parliament, and the prime minister is the leader of the majority of government side and the leader of government business, and he or she is appointed by the majority party and so the LOP by the main opposition party. This motion seems to suggest that we may see possibilities of the prime minister and government chief whip being voted from the house instead of being appointed and designated by the party in government. Thank you so much, Dr. Gerard Siranda. Quickly, in the interest of time, Professor, what is the politics behind this whole thing?
That is good. We taught in the same institution with Gerard Siranda.
Wow.
I am happy to learn that is following. I will straight away disagree. But let me first give the historical perspective.
Quickly, because we only have 7 minutes.
Yes, the political history of Uganda is such that we started with a bipartisan mode of multipartism. In 1960s and 62, when we got independence, the main political actors were 3. Those ones whose members went into parliament. There was KY, there was UPC,
and DP.
There was a DP. KY allied with the UPC, and all of them were UPC now in parliament. So UPC was government, DP
Opposition.
was opposition. 1980s, we had 4 actors. The Conservative Party, the UPM, Uganda Patriotic Movement, the Democratic Party, UPC. UPC won elections, went to government, formed the government, and there was no member of parliament in parliament of UPM and CP. So it was DP and UPC. Now that must have created an impression, especially to the constitution the framers of the constitution, that it will always be a bipartisan political arrangement in parliament. They didn't envisage, they seem not to have envisaged that there would be many there would
political
be
parties in
yes,
the opposition
FDC,
in parliament.
There would be JEMA, there would be PPP, and who knows, in 2026, we may have maybe 7 political parties, each having members in parliament. What do you do? Yes, we talk about the minority leader, but there is also the minority. There is the majority of the minority and the minority of the minority. In this case, JEMA is a minority in the minority. FDC and the NUP are currently the majority in a minority. Now, when we say that we are talking about democracy, Boutros Ghali says that democracy,
former UN secretary,
yes, democracy is government based on the will of the people. Now, if you have got a government of the opposition in parliament, what is it based on? This LOP. What is his mandate?
To check the government in power.
No, what is his mandate? How does he
lead this army that checks the government in power?
Fine, but how has he come into existence? I'm JEMA, I have not participated in selecting you, but you are representing me. Because when they are there, they say opposition. I am PPP, I don't see myself in Europe. How do I feel that? Now, are you saying we should have multiple opposition groups? So if we say it is opposition, then the idea of Lumu, by the way, we were actors in the youth politics with the Lumu. Lumu was in DP Uganda Young Democrats, who were doing for us in UPC with the Gerard here. Now, Lumu is a very sober man as a person.
I know him.
The others I don't know, the other things I don't know. So, the only shortcoming is one, that in the short term, it looks like it is opportunistic.
Your colleagues here are saying Lumu is being used by external forces.
When we look at it in the short run, because the timing, why does it come when Joel Osenyoin has said, don't go
Gulu.
to Gulu. But strategically, we should not legislate for just a circumstance.
Exactly.
We should legislate for posterity. Strategically, what do we envisage this country to be like? Because a lot of parties are coming up.
So, in short, Professor, because of time, you see something good.
Yeah, I see something
in
good.
this in
We
proposals.
need to panel beat it up. If it is
Gerard
Prime
Silanda
Minister,
talks about the funds that the formula should be. Maybe that's where the issue should focus on.
But they have the iPod. That's where they have been discussing that thing and deciding the iPod arrangement. But selecting the Prime Minister as a leader of government business, if it is election, again, it will be the members of NRM who elect a leader of government.
Why shouldn't it also go to NRM if you impose it on, or you look?
Yes, no. Let's wait. If these MPs also think seriously, they might bring a proposal to that bill, depending on how this man will have presented.
That the NRM chief whip should also be
yes,
elected.
and it may not, now in this case, may not be necessarily a prime minister. They should select
I'm
from a member of
unfortunately running
executive.
out of time. I'm sorry. Let me see if we can have one closing message. Okay, he says, "Good morning, sir. You have told me." Okay. Okay, gentlemen. Somebody says, I don't want to read only messages that are appreciating us. Let me go look for somebody who makes a contribution. I'll stick to the dialogue till the end. It's good to elect the new opposition to show democracy and cater for other political parties. Let the LOP cabinet comprise all opposition members. I think it's a debate we can continue to look at, and the member of Dr. Silanda, your member is the one who actually is tabling this bill, or is moving this bill. I don't know. Didn't he consult you?
I don't think
he's the Secretary General.
Doesn't he belong to the rebels of DP?
Okay. Thank you so much, Professor Senyonjo. Just one word as we go.
My colleagues, the other DCs in Karamoja, we are watching. Some of them we are watching.
Wow.
I send greetings to fraternity and the colleagues here.
Thank you.
Now, we have said so many things.
Just seconds, please.
Yes. But these are ideas.
Yeah, true.
We need, we are sharing.
Yeah, true.
We need to reflect. It's not about, let's not have rigid positions. Some people think that like this proposal, that is targeting NUP. NUP, will you be permanently in opposition? And will you be a permanent? Will you permanently have the majority? If this used to enjoy majority, where is it now?
It is now a minority
Let us
in the
discuss
minority.
these things for posterity as nationals and nationalists.
Okay. Finally, just a second.
A good law should be blind. It should not have eyes. Let's not take advantage of the contradictions because someone is making a lot of noise. Which role we elected him to do, and then we start purging people in the middle of the term of parliament.
Timothy,
It's wrong.
Timothy.
Mine is really to say that we have one country and we must work towards protecting this country.
Thank you.
There is no option. It's the only country and we must be deliberate in making it better that serves all of us.
Thank you so much, our viewers. This is now the dialogue working out. And how is this a key issue affecting northern Uganda? That is Dr. Gerard Silanda. My name is Prince Apollo. Thank you so much for watching Dr. Gerard Silanda, the Secretary General for the DP.
The political actors.
Thank you, our viewers. Thank you, those who sent in comments and observations. Thank you so much. The production team, thank you so much. We'll be coming again next Saturday in the newest edition of the dialogue. Good afternoon, God bless you, and God bless Uganda.